All right, guys. Season 2, year 2 of Broncos training camp. It was great. We had a great time. Boots on the ground. It's always better when we do. Sean Payton's back. Bo Nix is back. Diana's breaking news about Cortland Sutton getting a new deal.
I love that you're acting like they're back as if like they were going to go somewhere.
We're back.
If anything, they've come back and they're even stronger. Like that was like the first observation we made was I think Bo Nix physically looks different. Like he looks like he carries himself different.
Physically looks swole, like Diana said I look, okay? Like
Sure.
He's gained some more weight. The thing about Bo, which was interesting, we sat down with him for a full-length interview, but the process of the game for Bo Nix has slowed down, and I think that's probably my biggest takeaway. He literally took us through from the snap to when he get back into the huddle to then now the other snap when he's looking at stuff. He doesn't feel rushed at the line of scrimmage. He didn't really last year as well, but I think that's something that's really important, especially in a Sean Payton offense that has all those weapons.
I know, but it was such a relatable idea because we were just talking about how last year he obviously was a rookie, learning all of this. Training camp was a lot for him, and just the difference of his process last year compared to this year. It was almost just like surviving last year, right?
Yeah,
it's like you memorize
and they won 10 games
and you just react. Now he's been able to digest it, and we talked a lot about the difference between what you're doing and why you're doing it. And it's just like in anything, right? Once you understand why you're doing it, you tend to get it. And taking this next step of getting it is, I think, where we're going to see a great version of it.
And I think that's the thing that you hit, that Bo really hit to us. He said, I'm not just worried about the formations or the receivers or the routes. I'm asking Joe Lombardi, who's the offensive coordinator, or Sean Payton or Davis Webb, who said he's helped his growth tremendously. Why are we doing this? Why are we running sticks? Or why are we running corner routes? Or why are we running, last year we ran a post with a corner route, but this year we're going to run a pylon with a corner route. Now, who am I reading? All this stuff. And I just think a lot of quarterbacks really don't take a step like that mentally from year 1 to year 2. And just being on the ground with Bo, like it seems like that's what's coming. And they got some more weapons too.
Well, here's what I like too, right? So he's getting all this teaching from Davis Webb and obviously Sean Payton, but he spent the offseason with Drew Brees. And I thought that was really valuable to hear what he had to say about what Drew brings. And look, it's obvious Drew Brees, from his experience, he can teach and explain it. But I like that he was just going through what's the everyday of a quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Like you talk about like good habits, what time you're getting to the facility, how you're taking care of your body. And they spent a lot of time together going through what worked for Drew and kind of applying it to see if it would work for Bo.
And I live that schedule too. And it's like there's no days off. Like some teams have Mondays or Tuesdays as their day off. As a quarterback, you don't take any days off. And I think you really took that from Drew. Moving over to the defensive side. We had the reigning defensive player of the year, Patrick Surtain, on as an interview. First of all, dude looks in better shape, quicker, faster, stronger, jumps higher than I've ever seen, and he's coming off a defensive player of the year. What do you expect out of him this year in this defense?
More flexibility, right?
His hamstrings.
We were just talking about like as good as an athlete as he is, he's still trying to like work on his flexibility. So he's doing Pilates and stuff, which he's just always trying to get better. He talked about his mechanics. Look, I think he's got a really good swag about him in general. Like he knows what he is.
He's a Jordan Brand guy now.
He is. I know those cleats are nice. I think he understands that he's probably the best in football in terms of that position right now.
He understands he's the best.
And he's assigned, but he doesn't let up.
Yeah.
You can tell. This isn't someone that's like going to cut corners because he's got those good habits, which, we talked about. But he was really highlighting that front five because that's where it starts on the scene.
Yes.
They're ferocious up there.
Well, and it's anchored by Zach Allen. Zach Allen literally came up to us and was like, hey, thanks for talking good about us. I'm like, you're a star, dude. Like, so Zach Allen, number 99 for these guys. He's a star.
Looking for a contract extension.
Looking for a contract.
We'll see.
Something. And then also like Vance Joseph. We were able to just catch up with him. Blitzing left and right, like their secondary, his whole thing, he wants to blitz 5 and he wants to play coverage from the back end and he wants to sit on things. That's how Surtain was able to get those interceptions. Now let's go to Sean Payton. I was able to be at the field and on the field like I was still playing with him. He invited me on the field.
Very fun to watch.
It was amazing, and it was
I thought you were going to take a snap.
I almost thought about taking a snap, but my arm would fall off. He looks reinvigorated. And the first thing he said to me when I went onto the field with him, he said, Chase, have you watched this Bo Nix? I was like, Coach, have you seen my breakdown? I'm like, he's like, I love this kid. And I don't think he's just saying it because I've been around Sean enough. I've been around him for 6 seasons, know him really well. He seems reinvigorated not only by the team, but by Bo Nix as well.
All right, this is a weird analogy, but it kind of reminds me weekend, I was trying to teach my 3-year-old how to jump off the diving board, okay? And I kept saying, come on, you can do it, you got it. You're such a good jumper, And he eventually jumped, and now he jumps off the diving board. I think Sean is still on this path of building up his young quarterback. I do believe he knows he has the guy. In his mind, this is the guy. Even talking to their owner, they all have a very strong belief that Bo Nix is the answer, and I think we're going to see a lot of that. But I think what his skill set is, he knows what it takes to go from here to great, and he sees that already in this kid.
And they got a young team, so it's keeping Coach young. The one thing I took away from talking to Coach on the field, he said, we can't be afraid to talk about the Super Bowl, because I feel like we have a Super Bowl caliber roster.
Awesome. That
For a
means
coach
you're so
to
confident.
say
that means you're so confident.
and to let his team know, a young team, in a very difficult division with the Chargers, who made the playoffs last year as well, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know who it reminds me of? The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
If you remember last year when we were with them and they had just come off a winning Super Bowl, they were going for 3, right? Remember, they went to the 3-peat, and I remember asking Andy Reid, like, hey, man, like, we're all asking you about going for a 3-peat.
They didn't want to play the Broncos.
Do you want to back off it, though?
Yeah.
Do you want to, taper it? Because sometimes you don't want to put it out there, because then the pressure and the hype, and they're like, no, we want to put it out there. But I do love the fact that I do think the Denver Broncos are the team that are going to challenge the Chiefs the most.
And this is not crazy to say, this is not hyperbole. When you look at their roster, specifically from a film perspective and player perspective, they should be thinking Super Bowl. Like, they have the quarterback, they have the extra weapons on offense. Expect a big year from Troy Franklin. Obviously, Sutton was done. Mims, they love Mims. Their running back room, excellent. Evan Ingram, right? And then you add the pieces that they add on defense with Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga. Like, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit for these guys.
The fact that they were even able to add pieces to a defense that was already superior last year. So, look, this is the time of year where everyone's really optimistic. So I'm going to try to level off a little bit, because we're coming in hot.
Yeah, we are.
But at the same time, we're around a lot of teams, and we've been around a lot of camps over the years, and you feel something special. And Patrick Surtain said that to me. He's like, there's just good vibes here, right? I'm like, there's just good vibes.
And Coach treated us to lunch in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
It was excellent. Good food.
I had a strawberry shortcake ice cream. I don't know what I was thinking.
Thank you so much, Denver Broncos. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.